Meanwhile, the U.S. is stepping up its stance against Iran. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says the United States is terminating a 1955 treaty with Iran. That treaty regulates commerce and diplomacy with a foreign adversary. CBN national security correspondent Erik Rosales has more on the growing tensions between the U.S. and Iran.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo held nothing back when he said the move to terminate the 1955 Treaty of Amity was, quote, 39 years overdue.
Iran is attempting to interfere with the sovereign rights of the United States to take lawful actions necessary to protect our national security. And Iran is abusing the ICJ for political and propaganda purposes.
Pompeo's announcement came after the International Court of Justice ordered the United States to lift some sanctions affecting imports on humanitarian goods and products to Iran. Hours later, National Security Advisor John Bolton announced the U.S. is withdrawing from yet another treaty with Iran, made before the United Nations Court, a court which Bolton says is ineffective.
It's closing doors that shouldn't be open to politicized abuse, which is what we've consistently seen in the ICJ.
Pompeo says the U.S. will continue to provide humanitarian assistance to Iranian refugees, but notes Iran continues to use its money on terrorism.
The choices that are being made inside of Iran today to use money to foment terror around the world, to launch ballistic missiles into airports throughout the Middle East, to arm proxy militias in Iraq and in Syria and in Lebanon, those are dollars that the Iranian leadership is squandering.
So it's a war of words right now. It was a wise move. The U.S. should not let anything impact its sanctions power.
Iran policy experts say this is just another diplomatic full-court press by Iran, using a 1950s treaty to isolate the U.S. today.
If Iran upheld half of the things that the previous governments prior to the revolution agreed to with the U.S. international community, the country would be much better off than it is today.
Pompeo said Iran is clearly worried about the U.S. pressure campaign. President Trump has set a November 4th deadline to impose new sanctions, including sanctions on all oil sales. Erik Rosales, CBN News, Washington.
Alpha.